To answer your question, no. Physically, no one's come to us. No one's called us on the phone. No one's visited us. The only thing we've gotten was that form letter from Lane 4. So the idea of them being open to conversation, the only thing I've never seen these guys outside the meeting. I've never seen Hunter, the guy that runs Lane 4, walk around town. He says he has, but who's he talking to? He doesn't talk to us. He doesn't talk to Doug Zeminski. He hasn't talked to anybody. In fact, All Cuts comes in here, the gentleman that runs it, to find out information from us. So I don't know how they defined being open and information giving, but we're not seeing it. The city's not said a word. The university never says a word to us. So I don't know who's talking to who, or to whom, but we're not being chosen for that particular benefit, I guess, if you want to call it that. Lane 4, I mean, besides seeing them at the meetings, I've never seen them anywhere in Campus Town. So I don't know if they're coming after hours. I don't know if they're coming when I'm not here. But whatever it may be, we've not formally been approached by anyone except for that form letter from Lane 4.
So business now is good, right?
It's very good. Actually, we're in the midst of remodeling our store after 21 years, so there is definitely money flowing through Campus Town. There's no doubt about that. We're enlarging the upstairs of our store to put more product in. We're making it look nicer, because after a certain amount of years you want to refresh your store, make it look nice, and that's what most people do here. Doug Zeminski at Leeds does the same thing. Every once in a while he'll tweak his store, he'll make it look nice. We just got done this summer repainting the entire front of the store, cleaning it, repainting the surface of the building, the trim on the building. In the back, we've repainted the entire back just to make that look nicer. So we're willing to work with the city if they want to if they have an idea or a focus on how they'd like Campus Town to look, as long as it's something that's within reason. We're willing to work with them. I mean, we want business. I mean, we'd be completely silly to say we don't want people to recognize our store or come in. Retail thrives on customers coming into the door. That's just common sense. So if the city's got some wonderful plans on getting people to come down to Campus Town, we'd like to hear it. But starting it off with bulldozers and wrecking balls is not what we want to hear, because that doesn't really help us. I know for a fact that when they said this to Doug Zeminski at Leeds Salon, he asked him point blank, what would the square footage be cost-wise if this comes about? They said it would triple. Nobody can afford $30 a square foot or $40 a square foot. It's just impossible. So the mom and pop operations here, the small businesses, and we consider ourselves a small business. We have 2 stores. We're not huge. We're not, by any means a franchise. We don't have that kind of money to spend on rent, and we would leave Campus Town. And we might even leave Ames, because Ames is such a small market that it's very hard to find the right spot. And we found it here 20 years ago. So to try and find that again, that lightning in a bottle, would be impossible. So they're driving a business that's been successful for 21 years, even though it may not be what they call a wanted business. I mean, comic books have always had a bad rep, but we're not the only ones here. Leeds Salon, he's been here longer than we have. All Cuts, he's been here longer than we have. There's a lot of businesses down here that depend on their location and the fact that they have their businesses paid off, so they own their property, or they have a good solid foundation for customers to come in. They know where they're at. Parking's not great, but they can get around that. But the big thing is, if you shove those people out, you're going to shove Ray at All Cuts into retirement, which I'm sure he doesn't want to retire. Doug Zeminski's just going to leave. He's not going to stay in Campus Town. He's not paying $30 a square foot. He'll go elsewhere. So Campus Town will lose that identity that it's had. Good or bad, there are some decent things here in Campus Town. It's not just all bars and tattoo parlors and Asian restaurants. There are more things here. I mean, you can get pizza here. You can get, chicken lo mein. You can buy something that doesn't really, what I say is eclectic food. You can find that. But we've lost so many great businesses here. We lost McDonald's, we lost Burger King. That pulled families in. That got people after the football games to come down to Campus Town. If they would romance that kind of idea, to bring those people back into Campus Town, or maybe find businesses that are equally just as fulfilling, I think you're going to find more people come to Campus Town. I think ripping it out and putting in buildings that are going to cost $30 a square foot, and who knows if they can even fill them. We've heard a lot of reasoning, a lot of rumors that Lane 4 has done this elsewhere, and they've had a lot of hard times trying to get those spots rented. And I can imagine we're in a very tough time. This is a recession. It's one of the worst recessions, according to the media, since the Great Depression. So putting up buildings that are going to cost you $30 or $40 a square foot doesn't seem sound to me. And I don't know if the people of Ames know that you can tear this all down, make it look pretty, but if you're not going to fill it, you're going to lose money, a lot of money. Tax dollars are not going to be down here like they are now. I mean, right now they have tax dollars coming in from these businesses. If you lose that, you lose lots of money, and it's hard to make that money back. So I don't know. It's like gambling on something that might happen, or staying with a sure thing and just making it better. And if you build up on Campus Town, make it look nicer, and complement the businesses that are here, you'll find that you'll make a lot more money off of it. There's definitely room for improvement. No one's arguing that. In fact, we've always thought that. That's why we've tried to work with Campus Town. I've gone to committee meetings here. They've had organized groups of people here that have tried to improve on Campus Town, but it seems like it's always fallen on a deaf ear until recently. So I don't know what the big push is now, but Lane 4's ideas seem to be, let's just get rid of everything and start over, and I think that's a little drastic.
Can you tell me a little bit about the history of this store?
We opened back in 1990. It was a quarter of the size that it is now. We didn't know what we were doing. We were fresh out of college. My partner Dave, my business partner Dave, is a business major, so he had a little bit of idea how to run a business. I had the knowledge of the product, so that kind of complemented it. And we've grown over the years. We've made mistakes, but we've learned from the mistakes. And would I open one today? No. But back then, it was a perfect time. We had Magic the Gathering, which was a brand new product. We had the death of Superman, which was a huge event. We had a lot of things that fell into place for us and allowed us to grow this store and then eventually grow the Des Moines store, which is now even more successful than this one. So there are things that this store has really done right, and there's some things that we've done wrong, but we've always wanted the store not to look like a typical comic book store. We wanted it to be brightly lit, family friendly. We wanted people to feel comfortable when they came in the store. If you don't have that, you have a hole in the wall, and we didn't want that. So we've always taken the money we've made, reinvested it, made the store look nicer, enlarged it, tried to make it a decent place that people would talk about, and they'd be happy to come here, bring their kids, play Pokemon, play Yu-Gi-Oh, play Magic the Gathering, and feel comfortable. So I think after 21 years, we've succeeded in that, but to lose this spot would be detrimental to this store, and I don't think this store could coexist in Ames anymore. We'd have to go somewhere else. And I'd hate to leave Ames, but this is the ultimate spot for what we do, and we don't want to lose it. Our landlords don't want us to leave. They love us. We're great renters. Eventually, we will buy the building from them. So we have a future plan with them. Their parents who owned the store and then had to retire treated us like sons. So to lose this place, we lose the heart of Campus Town, and I don't want to lose what we've already built up. So after 21 years, we do things right, we do things wrong, but we always are able to get back up on our feet and make it successful. So I just, the key to it is just perseverance. I think that's the whole thing.
Okay. Those are all the big
I
questions
just had two real quick questions.
Sure.
If you had a question that you wanted to, and if you could just look right at Brandon during this when you answer it.
Okay.
If you had a question that you wanted to ask, like Lane for, like what would you ask him?
Wow, just one?
Or like two, whatever.
Okay, well, I think the first thing I would ask is, why are you telling people that you're working with everyone when we haven't even talked to you? I know we're not the biggest, kid on the block, but we've been here for 21 years. We have experience. Why didn't you sit down with the business people of Campus Town and discuss this before you let it out to the public? We have a lot to say. We have experience. We know the area better than you do. You're from Missouri. You have no clue what Campus Town is like. Just because it says Campus Town doesn't mean it's like the campus towns you've worked with before. You should have come and talked to us first. I've always felt like we were on the outside when we're the ones being affected by this. So you should have pulled us in immediately and said, here's what we'd like to do. Do you guys have some ideas? And if you had your heart set on demolishing Campus Town, then you can just go home, because no one's selling. We're staying here. If you try eminent domain, you'll fail. It's never worked. You can't prove it. I've seen the laws. There's nothing there that states that you're going to be able to prove eminent domain. If the city goes along with this, the city council members are going to be in a lot of trouble with the people of Ames, and there's going to be a lot of lawsuits. So I don't think they want this kind of thing. They should work with us, not try to bulldoze us and land grab. That's not the way America works. This eminent domain thing has been twisted and turned to basically benefit people who basically just want to take land. That's not what it's there for. It's supposed to be to benefit the community. This would not benefit the community. If there are 10 or 15 buildings not rented, that does not benefit the community. If you look around Campus Town, you'll find very few properties that aren't being used. Maybe they're not used to fit the criteria of what you're doing, but they are being rented, they are being used. And a lot of these people around here are next, they're the future of our country. They might be the next, Bill Gates. They might be the next Steve Jobs. If you, quelch them and drown their possibilities, then you're getting rid of these entrepreneurs that might actually make something of themselves and put Ames on the map. You never know. But not working with us makes me feel like that you did not care what we had to say. I've heard a lot of rhetoric. Let's hear it from your mouth. Let's hear what you have to say. Sit down with us. Tell us what you want to do. And be prepared to be told no. And don't threaten us with the eminent domain. That to me is just cowardly. If you can't make this work, then you approached it from the wrong direction, because it does need to be made. It does need to be changed. Campus Town needs to be renovated, but not at the cost of all the businesses that are here. That's absolutely wrong. And they know it. That's why right now they're threatening this with a very hollow threat of an eminent domain. It's not going to work. And the thing I get so frustrated about is you hear that, oh, that's not been approached, that's not been said. I've heard it from my landlord's mouth. She wouldn't lie to me. She's a businesswoman herself. She knows what eminent domain is. We've heard it from other people. They told Doug Zeminski the same thing. Just admit you're going to do it. I mean, you're going to now announce it at the city council meeting anyway, so you might as well come forward, because if you want to make an enemy of Campus Town businesses, you're doing so. Why not work with us and try to be, more of a cooperative friend than an adversary? We don't want adversarial. We don't want to have to fight you. We want the Campus Town to look better because it helps us financially. We're not stupid people, and we're not bullheaded. We just want a sound plan, not something that involves get out. That doesn't help us. No one wants. They're not going to relocate us. They're not going to compensate us for the year and a half. They even said, well, we'll bring you into the situation. We can't afford $30 a square foot, and we don't want a building this, a quarter of the size of what we have now. If you look at this building, we used every inch of it to the best that we can. We can't take any less. This is why we built our business up. Lead Salon the same way. Everybody on this block the same way. They have utilized their space. Don't penalize them for being successful. I mean, if they aren't successful, they wouldn't be here. So I guess if that was my question, why didn't you come and tell us? Why didn't you come and talk to us first? Why didn't you try to sit with us? I know we're not the city council. I know you don't think we have any say, but we're taxpayers. We're residents of this community, and we've put Campus Town pretty much on the map for our businesses. People come here for not just this store, but for Lead Salon and the other stores here. There's got to be something to be said for success. Respect it. We respect you. You respect us. Everything will work out great.
And then one